Thank you very much, Yanis. Thank you for being here. Thank you also for the organization, for this opportunity. We are very happy to be here today to introduce you to this speech, how to approach e-commerce profitability in 2025 and beyond. Checking the mobile timing, otherwise I will speak for 1 hour. No, it's not the case today. So, what we're talking about today, how to approach e-commerce profitability in 2025 and beyond. I remember a few years ago when we were talking about multi-channel commerce. When we discovered there was e-commerce, the real business that was considered the retail business, the offline business. So e-commerce was considered like a side business. A side business related to the real business that was the offline business. Okay. That was a strategy to intercept consumers through different channels. So the approach was a go-to-market approach to involve consumers with different channels. So e-commerce was considered something aside the offline commerce. Okay. So the stores in the streets. Then we discovered that that was not enough. So we started talking about omni-channel commerce, e-commerce, because we realized that from a consumer point of view, the merchant or the brand or the marketplace is just a brand to deal with through different channels. That's why we talk about omni-channel approach with the same contents, with the same approaches, also to properly follow the consumer through his customer journey. So multi-channel, omni-channel, and then COVID arrived. Many merchants were convinced that they had an e-commerce. During COVID, they discovered that their e-commerce was not good enough to move the goods from the offline business to the online business. Why? Because it was still considered aside the core business of the company, that was the retail, the wholesale. So they discovered that the experience, not only the experience, but also the technology, the system integration needed to be put together. And starting from that period, we now are considering the e-commerce part of the commerce to go. But the rules to properly evaluate the profitability of e-commerce are different. So sometimes we are used to think about the same approach in terms of ROI for profitability of the e-commerce, but we need a different approach. That's why today we're talking about this. First of all, I have a few questions for you. How many e-commerce do we have here? Good, 30%. How many agencies? Just a few. I would expect many agencies. Okay? And technical partners, system integrators? Okay, thank you. So I hope the merchant will find interest in this speech. I didn't introduce myself yet. My name is Francesco, I'm from Italy. As Yanni said, I'm in charge of Italy and also Southern Eastern Europe and the rest of the world. Basically, how does PrestaShop work? We have 4 main countries, and those are Italy, France, Spain, and Poland. We have operation in. Then the remaining, all the other countries, bear in mind that PrestaShop is present in 190 countries, they are considered part of the rest of the world. We also have, I discovered this, we also have a couple of e-commerce at Tonga Island. I'm proud of this. Okay. So why is this topic so important? Because the world is changing. First of all, as sorry, I need to read the name. Caterina Friedan, said, no longer separate digital and physical. But if we manage digital with the rules of the physical, we make mistakes. That's the point. Why it's so important? Because the market is changing. We have a competition that is intensifying. we have more new stores. Bear in mind that from 2020 to 2021, when there was the COVID, we moved from 10 million stores worldwide to 20 million stores worldwide in just 1 year. This accelerated a lot. Now we have something like between 27 and 28 million stores worldwide. So still growing the e-commerce. Price and convenience pressure from dominant marketplaces like Amazon, Shein, Temu, or the local Scrooge, or Vinted. I hope I pronounced it properly, Scrooge. And then we have the changing customer expectations, because shoppers are more experienced. They are not loyal anymore. I'm used to go on Amazon, I can share as a consumer, and then I go to eBay, because in some cases, eBay is more convenient, and I don't care about Amazon. I just care about the pricing, about the best product, and that's it. And at the same time, I mean, I made a calculation. Yesterday I was preparing the speech. I was thinking about the purchase, the number of purchases I made staying easily on the sofa, being a bit bored by the TV. I think that something like 50% of the purchases I did in the last year was made on the sofa. So it's too easy to buy, and we cannot avoid this way of purchasing from consumers, so we must be there. The opportunities to be there. But also, the costs are rising. I remember before COVID, okay, I didn't tell you, I worked also for PayPal, digital marketing, so for other companies, of course, like many in this room. And before COVID, I was working in digital marketing, and I remember to check the campaign manager was used also for important brands, to check the campaign something like, for important brands, 2-3 times per week, because the market was there. Then during COVID, it changed completely. And they started checking the campaigns twice per day or even more. So the acquisition costs also are rising. Regulatory risks. We have the accessibility law that should be implemented by 28th of June, even if there are some peculiarities. Someone told me before that for the existing e-commerce, they should have 5 years' time to adequate, but in any case, we had the omnibus, we had many regulatory that can represent the risk if we do not invest. That's why it's so important, this topic. What does that mean? It means that we need to be flexible, we need to be ready, reactive to the changes. It's a matter of changes. And we need maybe to change the point of view. Usually it's like the ROI is, okay guys, the CFO come in the sales office, say, hey guys, here's the budget for this year. What do you want to invest? Let's say January 1st, in reality it's something like 15th of March, 27th of February, when the company is doing these things. They say, okay, let's meet end of H1, or if it is a listed company, end of Q1, to review the budget. In the e-commerce, you can't act like that. E-commerce can change quickly. So, it's a matter of properly check what is called the total cost of ownership. Okay, here we will be talking about the total cost of ownership from a technical, let's say, platform point of view, because this will impact also the digital marketing, the logistics, but here we are talking about technology, okay, so platforms. I will give you an example on digital marketing regarding total cost of ownership. Many times I've spoken with many merchants telling me that Black Friday is a disaster for many merchants because it's expensive. They must do some activity with strong discount. They must invest also to have people working on Saturday and on Sunday, because you need to deliver in packages during the weekend. It costs more. You delivering more, you earn less discount, and they lose money. But if they are not there, they lose consumers. So it's a marketing investment, Black Friday. In terms of total cost of ownership, you must consider this not like a cost, but like an investment in marketing, for example. So in terms of technology, we have to check the full life cycle cost that is basically build the e-commerce, to run the e-commerce, so with e-commerce management, also digital costs, digital marketing, and maintain when you have a upgrade, when you have to add a product, when you have to add a payment solution like buy now, pay later, or lockers management, for example. And then the risk you must manage because of the technology and also because of the changes related to the regulatories, for example. So, total cost of ownership is a strategic metric to guide investment and performance optimization. It's not about spending money today, but about growing in the long run. This is key. Okay, so basically, when we are talking about total cost of ownership, it's like reviewing in a rolling approach the ROI. Because you can, for example, if you have a seasonal business, you need to manage hosting properly because you know a low-cost hosting is good in low season, but you need a high-cost hosting for 2 months or 3 months. So you need to be flexible in managing the hosting. And if you do not manage that, you are losing the high season. The time, the threshold now to lose a consumer is something below 2 seconds. Something below 2 seconds. So if the load page of an e-commerce is more than 2 seconds, guys, you just lost a consumer. So you gotta be careful. Sometimes I deal with merchants who are telling me, yes, I have the e-commerce, but it doesn't work, it's slow, it's the technology. No matter about technology. Technology is a commodity nowadays. No matter, I'm from PrestaShop, technology is a commodity. There is not the best technology, there is not a killer technology. Okay, so is low the technology? No, because you are not investing in hosting. And you are losing conversion, you are losing consumers. So these are the main components of the online stores TCO. So the initial setup, design, development, content, software licenses. Also here, design is funny because also here, because I work also in a e-commerce agency. When you talk about the design or the pictures or the photos of specific products, they always say, can you please manage these? Yes, but it's like asking the real estate company managing the store to take care of your product. The way you present your product is the way the consumer are perceiving this, and you gotta invest in that. They can look, they can go now also on Google, and they can Google the name of your product, and now they can directly buy from Google. So be careful in not investing in product, in images, in photos. But I could make many other examples. And then there are also initial setup, operational costs, maintenance. We'll dive this in the next slide. Team training. Invest on the team. Invest on the team also because you can get also money back from the government when you're paying taxation on that. So you can invest, guys. You can invest on the team. You can let your team grow. It's an advantage for you. Hidden costs and risks related to migrations, to compliance, degraded performance, and also at the end of the technology cycle. I mean, 3-5 years. An e-commerce usually is moving from a CMS to another CMS, from a technology, from a platform to another platform. It's also the cost you have to pay if at the end of life you do not have specific configuration in terms of control system integration, and even if you are just migrating the platform from version X to version X+1. So, as I already said, the suggestion we give is to revisit your TCO regularly, because it evolves with your business. That's why I was telling you it's like a rolling ROI. Because maybe beginning of the year you allocated budget for, I don't know, for marketing or for product development. Then there are not specific issues related to the product or marketing. And then you arrive at the end of the year and say, hey guys, we spent less on this, but we needed to spend more in events. It's late. You gotta do it always because it evolves. Let me also tell you something about events. I'm not paid by the organization, but it is something also in PrestaShop. They used to ask us, hey, how many leads if you go to ACDM Expo in Athens? I don't know. I don't know. Also because merchants, they are not used to raise their hands when they are, passive bystanders. They say, merchant, no, I'm because too many people is addressing them. But bear in mind also that the window, the time window of a change, to change the technology of an e-commerce, something between 2 months up to 6 months, in 3 up to 5 years. They change, merchants change the technology every 3 to 5 years. And the decision window is 3 months. Something like 5%. So if I bring here 100 merchants, only 5 of them are looking for a new solution. But when the other 95 will be looking for a solution, they will meet you last year here, and this year they will ask you, hey, I had a nice conversation with you. So be careful in evaluating also the investment in events. I understand it's a cost. I understand only a profitable company can invest and get some money back in terms of taxation. But be careful because this is also coming from the online, from the offline business. The online is working a different way. Why so it's also important in terms of long-term profitability? Once again, it's not about the money you're spending now, but about where you want to be in 2 or 3 years. So you can better manage resources, as I say. You can better plan investment. You can also have fewer nasty surprises and a stronger ROI and healthier margins. I don't know if I can share this with you, but it's funny, when I was in PayPal was still in the eBay group. And I remember, okay, those was, a rich period for something like 15 years ago. I remember at the end of the year, the marketing team was so rich, they started printing jumpers, hats, and we had a lot of gadgets from eBay, from PayPal. It was funny because the budget was not relocated to other process or business unit. Risks of ignoring it. I have an example for you. I'm living outside of Milan, in a small house, and I'd like to cut the grass in my backyard every week, to spend just 1 hour to do it. And I said, I will do it next week. I will next week. So at the end, I'm cutting the grass something like once per month. And it takes me not 4 hours. So the 4 Sunday I should be cutting the grass, but 8 hours. Because I waited too long. So at the same time, if you don't spend money to upgrade your e-commerce, to check everything about technology, and to integrate it with the CRM, with the ERP, you will be paying more in the future. And the business will not grow. So if you're waiting for your business to grow in order to make more investment, maybe it's better to properly maintain this, to check these costs, so the total cost of ownership, because you will have even more costs, even if you're saving, I don't know, 5K this year for the maintenance, you will spend 20,000 euros next year. You can also erode margins, and last is even worse. You can lose your strategy. You cannot really grow according to your plan. You are depending on the technology. It's even worse. How to optimize your TCO and secure profitability? These are the foundations. These are suggestions. Okay. We still think that open source is an advantage because you don't have hidden fees. Okay, everybody knows about Magento, changing the fees, the community is not that good. I know also that in Greece, e-commerce and PrestaShop are strong enough, but there are many. But at the end, the value proposition is clear. No sales commission, and it's fully customizable. You're not depending on the technology, a bit better, you're still depending on the technology, but less than with other solutions. And last, open source is on the market by definition, because it's open. If a merchant in South America needs a specific solution, a loyalty program module, an agency can easily develop the solution for this merchant. They don't need to wait for the company to build a solution for the merchant. So in the long run, the open source can give you the opportunity to be always ready with the right solution. You don't need to wait the company to the owner of the technology to build it. Then the other solution is, from an operational point of view, to be more efficient. So preventive maintenance, as we already said, don't wait to cut the grass at the end of the month. Just do it every week. It will be less expensive. It will be less expensive. Performance monitoring. Sometimes this is just, especially, unfortunately, in the small businesses, this is the decisions related to this activity are owned by the CEO of the brand, because he decided what he has to do, what he has to check, what he wants to really check, and if there are investments to do. We need something more structured in order to be sure that we are not losing sales because of low performance. And then also internal training to reduce outsourcing costs. Invest on the people, invest on the people, invest on the people. I don't know how is the situation here, but in Italy, for example, we have a lack of competencies in digital, in development, and this is an issue in Italy. And companies are too focused in finding solutions outside instead of investing on people. I don't know why. Phase 3, think long term. Plan feature, take evolution early. Before is better. Okay. Owning is cheaper than renting. Another, it's not just a philosophical point of view. For example, I live near Milan, as I said already. In Milan now, the rental costs are increasing a lot. Why? Because there are a lot of people coming to Milan, living there for 1 year, 1.5 because of the job rotations that they have to move. So rental contracts are growing, and we have also short-term contracts. But I can understand, because you're not investing in the long run. You have that job for 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, then you will see it makes sense to invest to buy an apartment. But can you see the difference? Maybe the apartment you're going in. The rental contract is good because the furniture is already prepared for you. It's a full service solution. You say, wow, it's cool. When you're living it, you spend a lot of money and you do not own basically nothing. In some cases, regarding other platforms, just an Excel spreadsheet with the historical data. You don't own the technology. So, another suggestion is to track your TCO and adjust it when needed, as we say. An interesting point is related to data. So at the end, with TCO, you can really take control of your technology, and this can give you the opportunity to take control of your future. I was impressed. Yanis, congratulations for the app. It's very good. I followed the speech from the Minister of Digital Governance, Dimitris Papastergiou. And he stressed a lot the importance of data. He said, yes, we can do local things with AI, but we need to do the local data. I was in Birmingham 2 weeks ago for the second most important e-commerce event in the UK, IRX. We met a lot of agencies, and in the UK, PrestaShop is positioned like Magento. And they say, we need to invest more in PrestaShop in this country because an issue for a British merchants is data owning. Because they don't want to give data to America. Okay, and you are the only European technology, so it's not a spot in PrestaShop, by the way, but data are really important. Think about it right now, otherwise it will be too late. Because someone will use your data, they cannot do it, where to store the data, in Europe, not in Europe, I don't know, maybe, who knows. So it's better to own the data, and with a European solution, you can own data easily. Then to customize endlessly without adding cost. You know, you decide when to upgrade the product page. You decide if add or not to add a buy now pay later solution in the checkout. You decide when to add everything. Then this can give you control of your total cost structure. The profitability in the long run belongs to those who manage their TCO today. And remember, once again, it's a rolling ROI. Once again, it's not a sales pitch, but what PrestaShop is doing is through a solution that is called PrestaShop Enterprise to maintain the richness of the open source, but also to control the solution with an editorial approach to check if the solution is good enough and the merchant can grow with this solution. So also PrestaShop is using the TCO approach to be beside the agencies. We have some agencies, some PrestaShop agencies in the room, some of them are certified like Astronet. So we can support our agencies and we can also support merchants when they need to grow. That's it. We are here. It's me and Marie Laverne, my colleague, that is International Market Development of PrestaShop. If you have questions right now or later on, we can be easy and open for your questions. It's over. Evaristo.